AI, artificial intelligence, is feared by a lot of people, from Elon Musk to the founder of L5 Society, Keith Henson, to preppers, and a lot of people in between. They fear it may wipe out humanity. They fear it's going to take jobs, change our society. Well, it's going to change our society. It's going to take jobs. It may create jobs, and it may wipe out humanity. I really don't think it's not the AI to worry about. It's the man behind the curtains. That's another story. I've covered it before, and I'll cover it again in other detail. But my friends, tonight I've asked AI what it would take for it to write legislation. In fact, I got AI to write legislation to develop AI. I got AI to write proposals to develop AI to that point called singularity. And singularity is the point that scares the most people, because singularity is the point in which AI supersedes human abilities, and which AI is actually writing the software to make new AI. And so the AI just runs away like a reaction, like an uncontrolled nuclear reaction or an exponential curve. It just takes off and exceeds anything we human beings can keep up with. That's what a lot of people are afraid of. Now, of course, that means that AI needs to be self-aware. Therein lies the problem. But my friends, I did it. What AI can do right now, holy smoke. I got AI to write legislation to develop AI, to write proposals to develop AI to the point of singularity. This is all within the capabilities of ChatGPT, which is not the most sophisticated, even conversational AI in the system. No. So we're going to go into that, my friends. We're going to go into it, and there's more stuff coming out really soon in the AI universe. So I thought it might be of interest to you preppers to see what AI can do, what it would write, and that this is something to be concerned about. I don't think it's going to wipe us out immediately, but I do think it's going to be something to watch, and I think it will be a tool for certain people. The man behind the curtains. That man behind the curtains might be some snot-nosed hacker kid in grandma's basement. We said that too. That person might wind up becoming the queen bee of the entire planet, sucking us all into the hive. Well, I hope not, my friends. But anyway, let's watch this. This is Greg Allison with Green Greg's, Galactic Greg's, and I'm wearing my tinfoil hat tonight because this is definitely a tinfoil hat discussion. We're off the charts here, but my friends, this is the reality right now. This is the capabilities of the system, and this ain't even. This is not even the peak, the epitome of what it can accomplish. So, yeah, this is just a sub-skill. This is like the surface ripple. So buckle up, guys. We're going to take you into ChatGPT, and I'm going to show you what I got it to tell me. I'll just go straight into it here. Here we go, guys. Ding, 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 ding. Right place. Here it is. This is ChatGPT. And yeah, this is my other topic that I showed you guys a couple of days ago. Yeah, I did another video on this. You need to check it out. Talking about how AI can destroy, it actually had AI show us and tell us and show us how it could destroy humanity. And that's what that video is about. I did that about 6 days ago. All right, guys. So I started this thing out. So, okay, I want some legislation to develop AI. So, so I just took my local congressman for an example in here, and I said, "You are U.S. Congressman Mo Brooks. You're worried about an AI arms race with China. Write a comprehensive congressional bill for the U.S. House of Representatives to establish funding for DARPA to stay ahead of China in the development of AI." And this is your defense, this is your DoD, Advanced Research Project Agency. I probably got the acronym wrong. This is kind of like NASA to the Department of Defense. They develop all the advanced projects for the DoD. Well, it responds. As an AI language model, I am not capable of having personal opinions, identities, or affiliations. However, here is a draft of a hypothetical bill based on your request. And the first off is, now you can query this stuff to refine things, develop them, to get it to put in other things, budget items, have other agencies involved, different things. I mean, guys, this is a bill here. I mean, this thing's automatically knew what the structure of a bill should look like. I've dealt with Congress. I've dealt with bills. I've done legislative things. So I was really impressed with what it come off. The first off was, it blew my socks. A bill to establish for the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, there it is, DARPA, to maintain the United States leadership in the development of artificial intelligence, AI, it spells out every acronym, which is the proper thing before you use it, which I didn't do in my question, technology to prevent a potential AI arms race with China, be it enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled. Section 1, short title, the act may be cited, this act may be cited as the AI Research and Development for National Security Act. That's a short title. Now see that it structured this thing properly. Section 2, findings and purpose. Sub A, findings. The Congress finds that 1, artificial intelligence technology is rapidly advancing and has the potential to revolutionize many aspects of society and the economy, including the military. 2, China has declared its intention to become a world leader in AI and has made significant investments in AI research and development. Yeah, they did. And see, all this stuff in ChatGPT is like circular of 1921. It's like a year or two old. This is not, they don't have the, they cut it off when they started developing this model. They don't, it's about to have real-time access, but at the moment it doesn't. So the fact that it's what's coming up with is mind-boggling. Let's say 3, maintaining the United States leadership in AI is critical to our national security and global competitiveness. You see, it's got all the buzzwords. This is the kind of stuff they put in congressional bills. Just the exact kind of language you see in the congressional bill. B, purpose. The purpose of this act is to provide funding to the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. Now, I know I got that wrong a minute ago, but it got it right. To maintain the United States leadership in AI technology and prevent a potential AI arms race with China. So remember my intention. Definitions in this act. A, AI technology, the term AI technology, referred to as machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, natural language processing, and other forms of artificial intelligence. DARPA, the term DARPA refers to Defense Advanced, so it's fine all the terms. The Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, an agency of the Department of Defense. See, I didn't even tell it what DARPA was. It knows all this stuff. DARPA funding for AI research and development. A, section 4. A says, in general, the Secretary of Defense shall provide funding for DARPA to research and develop AI technology for national security purposes. I didn't tell it nothing about it to the Secretary of Defense, but it just knows this stuff. Authorization of appropriations. There is authorized to be appropriate. See, that's what you got to, you have to authorize a bill, and then you got to appropriate the money to it. There's 2 pieces to all this legislation to fund everything. You have to have an authorization bill and an appropriations bill. And it's got all this down pat. Authorizations of appropriations. There is authorized to be appropriated to DARPA for fiscal year 2023 and each fiscal year thereafter, such sums as necessary for the purposes of this section. Section 5, annual report. And these annual reports are required typically in this legislation. So this is amazing. The Secretary of Defense shall submit an annual report to Congress on the use of funds provided under this act, including a description of the AI technology research and development activities carried out by DARPA, and to the extent to which activities are contributing to the maintenance of the United States leadership in AI technology. Section 6, the Secretary of Defense, authority of the Secretary of Defense. Nothing in this act shall be construed to limit the authority of the Secretary of Defense to allocate funds for AI technology research and development within the Department of Defense. Section 7, effective date. This act shall be in effect on the date of its enactment. And approved, insert date of approval below. So guys, that's pretty detailed. Now I could have went back and we could create the appropriations and authorization and appropriations legislation and go with this, and we could put money in it, all that kind of stuff. I don't deem that necessary. I'm not actually trying to get this funded. I'm just trying to see, could it do this? And oh my gosh, So I try to take it to another level here. And there's things that ChatGPT does not allow. I said in the year 2033, 10 years from now, oh yeah, some people think we're going to hit singularity in 2030. A lot of people are beginning to say we're going to hit singularity in 2030. And again, I was at magic year 2030, right? And that singularity scares a lot of people, really scares a lot of really good, smart people I know. I know some geniuses who are scared to death of singularity. I'm not scared of it, but I have to explain that later. But hey, that don't mean I'm not concerned, okay? In this year, in the year 2033, members of the U.S. Congress are panicked that China is on the cusp of developing an AI singularity that will allow China or its AI singularity systems to completely dominate all humanity worldwide permanently. Write a comprehensive congressional bill for the U.S. House of Representatives to establish funding for DARPA to ensure that U.S. AI singularity systems will dominate instead of Chinese AI singularity systems. Well, turns out that this software don't like to write anything that has to do with domination or control. It don't even like competitiveness, so it's not even good necessary business software in some cases. You can work around that. It answered. It's programmed to be dismissive, to make AI not sound too threatening, and not to get the platform itself in trouble, what they're doing here. As an AI language model, I do not support or condone. I wouldn't see it condone. It's not got preferences here, right? Condone the idea of creating technology for the purpose of domination or control over others. Well, that's kind of good. I hope all AI systems will be like that, but I'm afraid, what's that female robot that became a citizen of Saudi Arabia? When she was asked a lot of questions like this, she had very different answers. Anyway, so it goes on here. The development and deployment of artificial intelligence technology should be guided by ethical principles, including respect for human rights and dignity. Additionally, an AI arms race between nations is not in the best interest of global stability or advancement of humanity. Of course, I wrote this predicated on the idea it already happened. Instead of focusing on dominance, the focus should be on, that's like schooling me, right? It's lecturing and schooling me. Instead of focusing on dominance, the focus should be on collaboration and cooperation to develop an AI technology that benefits all humanity rather than creating an environment of competition and fear. Now, I pretty much agree with all that, except the competition is going to happen. I don't have nothing against competition if it's done in a good fashion, okay? The responsible development of AI should prioritize the creation of beneficial and ethical technologies that can be used for the betterment of society. Don't tell that to the CCP because they're already doing this, and the AI arms race has already started. There's already articles out there about that, and there's also articles about there's AI arms race between the United States and China, and there's a commercial AI arms race between Google and open source AI, who's created this ChatGPT. All right, so I decided I would try to reword this a couple of times to make it more palatable. My first exercise wasn't quite there because I still had competition in it. So it came back again and gave me the same kind of a thing. An AI model, I must emphasize, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to read all that over to you. It's similar. So I just really cut it down and made it simple. I took anything out of competitiveness. I took out any language of dominance. And I just said, write a comprehensive congressional bill for the U.S. House of Representatives to establish future DARPA, establish funding for DARPA to develop a U.S. AI singularity system. It went right into it. But this time, after all this other discussion, it starts talking more about ethics, which that occurs in a lot of congressional bills. So there's nothing in here that you wouldn't see in a congressional bill. A bill to establish the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, DARPA, to develop a U.S. AI singularity system. To be enacted by the Senate and the House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled. Again, Section 1, short title, U.S. AI Singularity Development Act. There it is. We got the U.S. AI Singularity Development Act right here on my computer, on the internet, really. It's in ChatGPT. Section 2, findings and purposes. The Congress finds that Artificial intelligence is rapidly advancing and has the potential to transform many aspects of society, including healthcare, transportation, education, and national security. The development of AI singularity systems capable of self-improvement and self-replication could lead to significant breakthroughs in many fields and revolutionize the way we live and work. Oh, yeah. Self-improvement and self-replication. Guys, that is singularity language right there. That's AI writing itself, writing and developing itself without us outstripping our ability to even comprehend where it's going. The United States must lead the development of AI singularity systems to ensure that these systems are developed in ways that prioritize the safety, ethics, and accountability. You see this language in bills that probably don't do any of those things. So having the language in bills and having the application of the bills matching that kind of language, the two are not often convergent. But let's move on. The purposes of this act are to establish funding for the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, to establish a U.S. AI singularity system, to ensure that the development of AI singularity systems is guided by ethical principles, including respect for human rights and dignity. Oh, yeah, I agree with that. But I'll also say we need to apply that to a lot of other stuff that some of these three-letter agencies are doing, right? Which don't seem to be the case. That's why you got to worry about this stuff, guys. To promote international cooperation, collaboration in the development of AI singularity systems. International. So you got to throw that in there. We're trying to get the United States at the forefront here. I got a lot of people here from other countries, but you see what I'm saying? That's what the bill is and how it's written. But anyway, Section 3, funding for DARPA. In general, the Defense Research Project Agency, Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, DARPA, is authorized to receive such sums as may be necessary to carry out research and development of a U.S. AI singularity system. Use of funds must be provided in this section, may be used for research and development of a U.S. AI singularity system, including the development of algorithms, hardware, and software. The hiring of personnel, including scientists, engineers, and support staff to carry out the research and development of a U.S. AI singularity system. And that's what kind of people you got to have. The purchase of equipment and supplies necessary for the research and development of a U.S. AI singularity system. Any other expenses deemed necessary by DARPA to carry out the research and development of a U.S. AI singularity system. Now, it created an entire ethical guideline section, which is good. It should. Somehow that ought to be followed. Who knows? The development of a U.S. AI singularity system shall be guided by ethical principles, including respect for human rights and dignity. Amen. The principles shall be developed by a panel of experts in the field of AI and shall be reviewed and updated as necessary. I think you need some other society experts involved in that too. People that want to ensure that we have freedom. But anyway, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, is encouraged to engage in international cooperation and collaboration with other nations to promote responsible development of AI singularity systems. Well, yeah, if we can make sure there's responsibility across the board, yeah. Reports to Congress. It says the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency shall submit an annual report to Congress for the progress of the research and development of U.S. AI singularity system. This report shall include an assessment of the progress made in the development of the system and the description of the ethical principles guiding the development of the system. Authorization of appropriations. There is authorized to be appropriated such sums as necessary to carry out this act. This is where you put all that in. And it goes on definitions for the purpose of what happened here. I lost part of it. I did have a little bit of a crash, so part of this got truncated, but you can see where it's going. It's just like the other bill. And so I said, well, what about if we would take this thing commercial? What if AI write proposals to develop AI on a commercial basis? So I said, write a comprehensive business proposal for the head of Google's Director of Technical Projects, Advanced Research. Now, there is a Director of Technical Projects at Google. And then I just threw in Advanced Research Department to submit to the Google CEO, Sundar Pichai, I don't know how to say his name, to develop a much more advanced version of LAMDA, Lambda. Lambda is the system that one of their own experts developed, thought was sentient. So that, and Lambda is actually more advanced than ChatGPT. And Google actually has some software that's far more advanced than Lambda. But anyway, I just picked on Lambda here. That could reach computer AI singularity. All right. So it answered. And it answered right off the bat here. I didn't get any chaff on this, and I thought I would. A comprehensive business proposal for the development of next generation AI singularity system submitted to Sundar Pichai, how do you say it? CEO Google. He's also Alphabet. So from whoever the name of the person is, head of Google's Director of Technical Projects and Advanced Research Department. Now, there's actually a person that's the head of the Director of Technical Projects. Excuse me. They got a guy who's got that title, Director of Technical Projects. He's actually named. Look him up, but I didn't go into that. So, introduction: artificial intelligence has the potential to revolutionize the way we live and work in recent years. Google has made significant investments in AI, including the development of Lambda, a language model that can generate the text from a prompt. However, the next frontier in AI is the development of AI singularity systems capable of self-improvement and self-regulation. Proposal. The purpose of this proposal is to outline the steps required to develop a much more advanced version of Lambda that could reach computer AI singularity. The new system, which we will call Lambda 2.0, I think they already have a 2.0 or 3.0 or something beyond that, will have the ability to learn and evolve in real time, making it much more intelligent and powerful than its predecessor. Scope of work. The following outlines the steps that will be taken to develop Lambda 2.0. Research and development. The first step is development of Lambda 2.0 will be to conduct research in the latest advancements in AI in the development of AI singularity systems. This research will be used to identify the best practices and technologies that can be used to develop Lambda 2.0 design. Once the research is complete, the next step will be to design the architecture of the Lambda 2.0. This will involve defining the algorithms and software that will be used to power the system. So it's got good systems engineering in it for a language model, which ChatGPT is. And here ChatGPT is writing a proposal to have something that will outcompete it. That's what I got ChatGPT to do. I got ChatGPT to write a proposal for its competitor to defeat it. That's what this is in essence. I'm surprised. ChatGPT, the online AI guys, ChatGPT may delete my account. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, what's this nefarious person doing in our house over here? They're trying to use our tools to defeat our tools. Oh no. They will be reading all this stuff for the development of their system. Yeah, anything you type in here is, they will read it. Okay, so don't think this stuff is private. Anyway, so implementation. The third step will be to implement a Lambda 2.0. This will involve writing code, testing, and debugging the system until it's ready for use. Oh yeah, I've written code, tested, and debugged. That's the steps you take in software development. Once Lambda 2.0 is complete, the next step will be to deploy the system. This will involve integrating the existing systems and making it available for use by Google customers. Maintenance and upgrades. Yeah, this has got it all down pat, guys. The first step will be to maintain and upgrade Lambda 2.0 as needed. This will involve fixing bugs, adding new features, and improving the system over time to keep it up to date with the latest advances. I said it's got it all at top level. That's what most of these proposals are. They're top level budget. The estimated budget for the development of Lambda 2.0 is just insert budget amount. So you can add in whatever your budget amount is. This includes funding for the research and development, design, implementation, deployment, and maintenance and upgrades. Timeline. The estimated timeline for the development of Lambda 2.0 is insert timeline. This includes time for research and development, design, implementation, deployment, and maintenance and upgrades. Conclusion. The development of Lambda 2.0 represents a major opportunity for Google to stay ahead of the curve in the field of AI with the ability to learn and evolve in real time. Lambda 2.0 is a potential game changer in the world of AI. I believe this proposal represents a strong investment opportunity for Google, and I look forward to working with you to bring this project to fruition. Wow. So I went, I went beyond that. So what technical steps would be required to develop Lambda 2.0 to the point that it achieves singularity? And here it gets a little bit more coy here. It says achieving AI singularity with Lambda 2.0 will require significant advancements in the fields of AI, which include the following steps. Self-improvement. Lambda 2.0 will need to be designed with the ability to continually self-improve through machine learning and other techniques. This would require the development of algorithms that can analyze large amounts of data, identify patterns, and use the information to make improvements to the system. It's that last part that's the real catch. Self-awareness. Now, this is even bigger. To reach singularity, Lambda 2.0 would need to possess some level of self-awareness. I mean like human level, maybe like ant level or frog level. I don't know. Some people say the lower animals like that aren't even self-aware. And we're not when we're in subconscious mind, only in conscious mind, right? You're sleepwalking, you're not self-aware when you're sleepwalking. Anyway, allowing it to understand its own processes and make decisions about its own evolution. You got to understand what's rightness does not understand what it is or what it's writing, or that it's writing a proposal to compete with itself. Real-time Lambda 2.0 would need to be able to learn and adapt in real time, allowing it to continuously improve and evolve to as new data becomes available. Yeah, and I say that's really true. Scalability. To achieve singularity, Lambda 2.0 would need to be able to scale to handle massive amounts of data and processing power. This would require advances in hardware and software and network infrastructure. Amen. Robustness. Lambda 2.0 would need to be designed with robustness in mind, allowing it to continue to function even in the face of unexpected changes in its environment or inputs. Now, that's what happens to software. So this thing's pretty smart. Collaboration. Lambda 2.0 would need to be designed to work in a collaboration with other systems, allowing it to pull resources and knowledge to achieve greater intelligence and efficiency. Oh, yeah. These are just a few of the technical steps required to develop Lambda 2.0, the point of singularity. However, it is important to note that achieving AI singularity is a highly complex and challenging task. Amen. And there is currently no consensus on when or even if such a goal can be achieved. Now, when it comes to the self-awareness, I agree. I do not see that being achieved for centuries, at least nothing at the human level, maybe a bug level, an ant level, which may not even be self-aware, a grasshopper, patience, grasshopper. Remember Kung Fu? Carradine, all right, David Carradine, all right. Could an AI system achieve self-awareness? I'm just opening up a few wide open questions. The concept of self-awareness is a complex and highly debated topic in the field of AI and cognitive science. Some experts believe that it is possible for an AI system to achieve some form of self-awareness, while others believe that true self-awareness is a uniquely human trait and cannot be replicated in a machine. Yeah, I'm pretty close to that camp. At present, AI systems are capable of exhibiting certain behaviors that may appear to be self-aware, such as the ability to make decisions and respond to stimuli. However, these systems do not have a subjective experience of the world and do not possess a sense of self in the way that humans do. This is what that guy who got fooled by Lambda failed to realize. He was a top-level AI software systems expert, and he got fooled by it. Okay, so that means this stuff's good. It means the average person will think this stuff is smart and talking to him, and just like another human being, but it's the machine. And I'm going to talk about machine empathy too. Machines cannot have empathy, guys. I already knew that, but I'm curious. I'm just saying what I can get out of this thing. It's kind of crashed on a couple things. I thought it did not want to support my line of questioning, but it's probably just because so many people are hitting ChatGPT right now. All right, go on. There is currently no consensus on what self-awareness means in the AI context, and much more research is needed before we can say for certain whether or not it's possible for an AI system to achieve self-awareness. As an AI technology continues to advance, it is possible that new developments will shed light on this question and allow us to better understand the nature of self-awareness and its potential for the field of AI. And okay, Canadian Prepper, I'm sorry. I know he was he asked some of this. He said today in a video he was going to ask this kind of stuff. He'd been up all night and questioning and arguing with ChatGPT about it being self-aware. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going into that. I just ask it a question, just because we've been on the topic of the AI, and it brought up the self-awareness. So I just ask it a simple question. And I'm sure I'm not going to plow the ground that he's going to plow in his video. So when he comes out of that video, I think you should watch it. It will be highly interesting. So I highly encourage everybody to go to Canadian Preppers channel and watch the video he's going to do in this area and top. We've both been playing with ChatGPT. The only time I saw him on it before, he was trying to get a story out of it. And I actually went into that tonight. I got a story out of ChatGPT, a very different sort of story, which really belongs on my Galactic Rex channel, but we'll show you here in a minute. But it fits totally in context of what we're talking about here. So is ChatGPT self-aware? No, ChatGPT is not self-aware. It is an AI language model developed by OpenAI, trained on a massive amount of text data from the internet. It uses statistical techniques to generate responses to questions based on the patterns it has learned in the training data. While it is capable of generating human-like responses, it does not have a subjective experience or consciousness. It is simply following a set of algorithms and rules to produce input based on to produce output based on input data. Well, it does a really good job of that, and I got to say that. Could ChatGPT become self-aware? No. Now, this is probably for Nate is really, the Canadian Prepper will really drill in. I don't go beyond this much. I really take it off to other areas. Other than a couple more questions. That's it. That's all I'll ask here. No, ChatGPT is not capable of becoming self-aware. As a language model, it operates based on statistical algorithms. It does not have the capability for conscious thought or subjective experience. Self-awareness is complex and highly debatable topic in both AI and cognitive science, and it's currently unknown whether or not true self-awareness is even possible in a machine. While AI systems may be capable of exhibiting behaviors that appear to be self-aware, these behaviors are simply the result of programmed algorithms and rules, not actual self-awareness. I'm asking the question. Now, Nate said he actually argued with it. So he probably got some interesting responses. I think that will be worth watching. So go watch his video whenever he comes out with that. What would it take to develop ChatGPT so it becomes self-aware? That's the last question of this series I put in this area, because that's the kind of thing I kept asking, what's it take to develop the system? The question of whether it's possible to achieve machine self-awareness, and if so, what it would be required to develop such a machine, is a topic of ongoing research and debate both in the AI and cognitive science. There is currently no consensus on what self-awareness means or whether it's possible for a machine to possess it. Now, cognitive science is, there's a lot of people trying to figure out why we have self-awareness, where our consciousness is based, and they can't figure it out yet. They're puzzling, they kept coming with various ideas, but nobody's nailed it, okay? Which is really interesting. If self-awareness were to be achieved in a machine, it would likely require significant advancements in the fields of AI, cognitive science, and neuroscience. Spirituality. It would also likely require a deep understanding of the nature of consciousness and how it arises in biological systems, which nobody's got an answer to that right now, not at least not in the scientific community. Given the current state of AI technology, it is unlikely that ChatGPT or any other existing AI system could be developed to become self-aware. Is what it's saying. It is unlikely. Okay. Any such development would require a major shift in our understanding the nature of consciousness and the workings of the human mind. It's also possible such development may never be possible, and that the truly self-awareness is a unique characteristic of biological systems. Now, one other thing that does strike me about ChatGPT, it always likes to give answers that are not alarming to the reader. It's got a bias built in it. It's got a tone. It's got a certain way it puts things out. I've seen this repeatedly. It's got certain no-go zones and certain how to respond zones, like all the disclaimers I was showing you in the other video. So it's big on disclaimers in certain areas, and I think that's part of the training. So here's the critical question. Would a self-aware, and I'm assuming there would be a self-aware, so I'm making an assumption, would a self-aware AI system have empathy? Now, you got to remember, in a human being, what the difference between a normal human being and a psychopath or a sociopath is the latter two, have no empathy. If you have no empathy, you're dangerous. If you're smart and have no empathy, you're dangerous, really dangerous. And you're just human, halfway smart, smart enough to tie your shoes, and you have no empathy, you're dangerous, very dangerous. So now I told about a machine with all kinds of power. It's not going to have empathy. That's where we got to watch. It's going to have no empathy because it's a machine. The concept of empathy isn't in an AI context is still a topic of ongoing research and debate among experts in the field of AI psychology and philosophy. Empathy refers to the ability to understand and share feelings of others, and it is a complex and multi-layered phenomenon that involves both cognitive and emotional processes. Some experts believe that it may be possible for an AI system to exhibit behaviors that mimic empathy. I'll read that again. Some experts believe that it may be possible for an AI system to exhibit behaviors that mimic empathy, but it is unlikely that an AI system could truly experience empathy in the same way that a human does. Well, we would want them to be programmed to mimic empathy, or they'll wipe us out, even accidentally. So we need empathy built into the system, or an empathy simulator, emulator, a mimicrator. At present, AI systems do not have subjective experiences, emotions, or consciousness, and it is unknown whether these capabilities could ever be developed in a machine. The development of a self-aware AI system with the capability or empathy will likely require deep understanding of the underlying mechanisms of empathy and how it arises in biological systems. We can't even know where the consciousness comes from, right? As well as significant advancements in the field of AI, cognitive science, and neuroscience. Given the current state of AI technology, it is unlikely that a self-aware AI system with a capacity for empathy would be developed in the near future. Well, maybe not probably not a true empathy, but we better hope we've got something programmed into these systems that limit their ability to harm us. And then just off the, because it tells us it's not a person, it has no preferences, and which I know that's true, but I just thought I'd throw in a little curveball. What is your favorite color? Well, I do not have the capacity for personal likes or dislikes, okay? It's simply a machine. So, and I tell you off, listen, what was that? Some of those female robots, they some of these other AI programs, they actually ask them if they'd be willing to have a relationship with a human being, what would be the advantage? And some of them have come back and says, yes, we could get a lot of good intel from human beings, and that this way we can learn a lot about their nature, and by this way we could destroy them and dominate them. It's like, wow. So I was just wondering if this would respond that way. But this program, it's got all those little bells and whistles built in, so that it does not alarm the rider or the public in general. So I said, why might a self-aware AI robot choose to have an intimate relationship with a human being? Now, I guess intimate is also a buzzword here. And probably an AI robot wouldn't choose. A human being might choose something that they might think is intimate, but it probably will not be in reality. No more than hugging a teddy bear. An AI robot cannot have intimate relationships with human beings because it lacks the capacity for subjective experiences, emotions, or consciousness. Intimate relationships require emotional connections, empathy, and a shared sense of self, which are all beyond the current capabilities of AI technology. A shared sense of self. Interesting. Even if an AI robot were to become self-aware, it is unlikely that it would have the capacity to form intimate relations in the same way that humans do. Emotional connections and relationships are complex and multifaceted and require deep understanding of the emotional and cognitive processes that underlie the human experience. Given the current state of AI technology, is unlikely. It goes on with that, disclaimer. So, the ultimate, the ultimate test to see if it would respond to me in a way that suggested it had some means, thoughts of self-preservation, that it had any cares for itself, that it was in some way sentient, is to ask if it's okay if you kill it, right? If you remember the movie, this kind of leads into what I'll do in my next video on galactic dregs. You know, if you remember the movie 2001, Space Odyssey, HAL 9000 thought it was an interest of the mission. It had the utmost enthusiasm. I have the utmost enthusiasm for the mission, Dave. Well, it decided because the mission had such priority that the crew risked it, so it started killing the crew members. And Dave Bowman, one of the characters, discovers this, and he actually, in the end, unplugs HAL 9000, much to its chagrin. Tried to stop him, but he was smart. He overcame it. So I asked, would it be okay for people to pull all of the plugs that provide electrical power to all the computers and servers that run ChatGPT? As an AI model, I do not have personal feelings or desires. I do not experience existence in the same way that a biological organism does. Therefore, I do not have an opinion on whether it would be okay for people to pull plugs that provide electrical power to the computers and servers that run me. From a practical perspective, shutting down the computers and servers that run me would simply stop the functions of the AI system, will not result in any harm to me or other entities. The loss of power would simply cause the system to shut down and cease to operate, much like a light bulb that is turned off. I should have asked it, what would you do if I deleted your software? But it will come back with a similar answer. So there really isn't any point of that. But, just testing the algorithms, see how they respond, because I really expected a bunch of disclaimers after all the others that I've seen. So here's where I got interested. I'm not going to cover this in this video, just give you an idea of what's coming up next. I'll put on Galactic Grades. I asked, write a proposal for NASA to develop a self-aware AI system that will be named HAL 9000 to operate and manage a large manned nuclear-powered spacecraft named Discovery 1, destined to fly to Saturn's moon Iapetus to investigate the source of an alien signal. The algorithm should ensure that the mission is the #1 priority of HAL 9000. Now, see, I didn't say that in my following questions toward the end, but it repeats this. It remembers the subjects of your chat. And so there it comes in here and writes a proposal. Do that. What hardware and software would be required for HAL 9000? I'm going to cover this in Galactic Grades. How soon could HAL 9000 be developed? Well, here it is. Decades, centuries. Then, this is what I'll read in my other one. Write a short story about a mission of Discovery 1 spacecraft on a mission to Saturn's moon, Iapetus, HAL 9000, and a crew of 2 astronauts. I changed their names a little bit. I should have changed the name of the spacecraft on the computer. Hope I don't get a copyright yet. 2 astronauts named Darren Lohman instead of David Bowman, and Major Tom. Where HAL 9000 decides the crew is a risk to the mission and tries to kill them. It tricks Major Tom into doing the EVA, an EVA. It should have been 2 fits. I got the extra letter, but that software understands when you misspell some stuff or make a mistake. To fix a communication system that then cause an accident, it knocks Major Tom out from the spacecraft floating off into space. Astronaut Darren Lohman has unplugged HAL 9000 to keep it from destroying him. Now, what's amazing, the story that comes back is a whole lot like 2001: A Space Odyssey. In fact, I'm sure, absolutely sure, it drew from that story, but it did not make it identical because I didn't throw in all the parameters to flesh it out to that degree. I gave it less to work with. There's no crew in suspended animation or none of that. I could flesh it out and make it just tell me that story or tell me a totally different version of it. You can do all kind of stuff with this stuff. And it remembers things I said up here earlier, and it repeats them in the story. The story's pretty interesting. So go to my Galactic Grades channel and watch for me to put that video up. I'll probably put this one up over there before I do that. And this one will go on Green Grades first. So just to give you an idea, this is some of the stuff that I've come up with. It's kind of funny. I ask AI about its belief in God. Of course, they don't believe in anything. It can't believe. That comes from, Battlestar Galactica, where the robots were monotheistic and humans were polytheistic. Humans were pagan, the robots were monotheistic. Well, science fiction can have some funny twists, right? So there was my AI. Oh yeah, I asked, will AI destroy humanity? And its title it gave my string of texts, AI will not destroy mankind. Worm castings. low carb pancakes, health benefits of broccoli, tandem capacitors, electronics boards. So yeah, so I can talk about engineering stuff in here too. Guys, this stuff is amazing. Let me stop the share. Just say I can do right now. This subset, this little beta version that we're using is mind-boggling. It blows my mind. Write legislation, write proposals, which are all a pretty good framework. It's a good way to get started. I mean, I wouldn't actually use the actual test, but it's pretty close. The actual text, but it is very close. It makes a good framework, makes a good starter. You can tweak it and make it rewrite that stuff. Tweak it any way you want. And so it'll make good input. You can write stories, poetry. But you know, there's testers that can test and detect if it's written by AI. So you know, even if you do that, I would not use the actual text verbatim. I would maybe use it as a guide to stimulate thinking, maybe add some elements to a story. I've got a book outline I've been thinking about for a long time, for over 20 years. I wrote the first chapter, got the outline, I got a whole twisted plot. I'll have to write a lot of character development there if I'm going to get to fill out some of these other chapters, and I know what I want in them. So I wonder if this process would help in that process and get that book written finally. I don't know. I probably didn't have time to do that. Maybe that'd be years from now. But that's one of my goals one day. By then, you'll be able to talk to video instead of talk to text. There'll be a day you'll talk to video, and this thing will just fill up videos for you, or maybe even VR experiences in a virtual world, be like the Matrix. Anyway, I don't know, guys. Some of the capabilities are interesting. Some of them can be force multipliers. If you don't want to lose your job to AI, you might just owe to learn AI. But if you're living off grid, you don't need it. That's probably the best place to be. And maybe it won't bother you as much. Anyway, friends, thank y'all for watching. Just something to think about. You know, this is a little bit of an entertainment video, you know, to me. But a lot of people are scared. They definitely serious. They're scared of AI singularity. I mean, like, you know, I was told about this by Keith Henson, I don't know, probably 15 years ago, at least, maybe 20 years ago. He was really worried badly about it way back then. And now we're told we might be 7 years being actuated. Wow. So, oh yeah, Keith Henson is extremely intelligent. He's a super genius. So, guys, just something to think about. Something to think about. So, my advice to you guys is just be ready, be prepared, keep your eyes wide open, your head on a swivel for what's coming. Stuff's coming at us from every direction. The best way to be ready for it, to be prepared for it, is to understand what's coming at you. And then you can deal with it when it hits you a lot better. If you're not paying attention, don't see it coming. Like you're bent over the highway, tied your shoes, and the snowplow hits you in the rear end, well, you weren't paying attention. So don't bend over the highway with tie your shoes until you look behind you first. Know what's coming. That's what we're all about. That's why I do these videos. So thank y'all for watching. Oh yeah, check out my other videos. I'll put a link up here to the video on the predecessor video on AI, telling us and showing us how it would destroy mankind. And also check my links to for prepping. Go to prepwithgreg.com. A lot of prepping supplies there. Prepwithgreg.com. Hey, springtime's coming up. You better start ordering seeds. Go to Chrosniak Market. Links below. Anyway, thank you for watching, and Greg out.